William Carey's cry of expect great things from God and attempt great things for God, the modern missions movement began, inspiring men and women to carry the gospel message to the regions beyond. These heroic individuals sacrificed much in order to reach into over 11,000 ethnic groups. However, despite their tremendous efforts, there is still well over 6,000 ethnic groups that have yet to hear of Jesus Christ, many of which are located in severely restricted or closed-access countries. And with the rapid depletion of the American missionary forces, there are few to go, even if they could gain access. Who will tell these forgotten people of Christ, who can go to these closed and dangerous nations? All over this world, there are surrendered national Christian workers who are the answer to these questions. They can go where we cannot. They can bring the gospel to these unreached people groups. They know the language, they fit into the culture, they are already on the field, but they do not have the resources to continue an effective ministry. Many of these faithful native workers are literally starving to death, trying to accomplish much for Christ. Evangelist Marshall was first confronted with this reality in 1997 while ministering on the embargoed island of Cuba. Everywhere he went, the Lord revealed to him faithful native Christian workers who continued in their ministry despite the persecution and complete lack of resources. The Lord burdened his heart for these godly families and consistently reminded him that whoso hath this world's good, and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him. Upon following the Lord's leading and the principles presented throughout the New Testament, Evangelist Marshall and his wife Robin began sharing the plight of the Cuban Christians with American churches and began assisting 30 of these struggling ministries. Now today, due to the financial support and spiritual training, the native Cuban work has exploded. There are currently 138 pastors, 250 congregations, children's ministries, teen ministries, discipleship ministries, 2 Bible institutes, a seminary, and a printing press ministry, all of whose sole purpose is to evangelize and disciple the oppressed people of Cuba. While the Marshalls followed the Lord's leading in this new area of ministry, the Lord continually presented them with many other faithful nationals who were also struggling to minister with little or no resources, impressing upon them a need to expand the ministry beyond the island of Cuba. In 2001, in response to the Lord's leading, they founded Nationals Outreach Worldwide Ministries with the purpose of evangelizing the lost and preaching the gospel in the regions beyond. This is accomplished every year in 49 countries through the training, equipping, and supporting of well over 900 native Christian workers. Located in Asia's southeast corner is one such country. Myanmar, or Burma, is home to 135 ethnic groups, and though this country is rich in missionary history, it remains mostly unevangelized due to its closed borders and its ritualistic culture, Buddhism. However, among this spiritually dark country, there is a light of the gospel shining bright. Dr. Timothy Mang risked his life as a young man to sneak out of Myanmar and to gain a biblical education. Upon completion of his Bible degree, he risked all again and returned back into his home country in order to bring the gospel to his own people. Brother Mang struggled to establish churches, disciple believers, and train others to preach the gospel. But with little resources, the work was slow and tedious. They often lacked the most basic of necessities, but they continued to train and serve, even when many were persecuted or imprisoned. In 2002, Now Ministries began partnering with this tremendous man of God, and due to the funds of Now supporters, significant ministries have been established. Listen as Dr. Mang shares how the financial support has revolutionized their ministries.
Myanmar has 55 million people, only 6% Christians, including Roman Catholics, nominal Christians, cult. I personally believe less than 1% will be born-again Christians. 94% are unreached people groups, Buddhist, Taoist. So my vision and my burden is tourist than these people groups. In Myanmar, there are 135 different ethnic groups. It is not easy to reach different ethnic groups. So the best way is bring them young people at Bible college, train them, teach them the fundamentals that they student, the fundamental sound doctrine, and instill the mission mind, send them back to their own ethnic groups, and plant New Testament churches through the country. So, along with that Bible college ministry, now we form a biblical Baptist missionary mission, something like that. Then, partnership with Now Ministry. Through the help of Now Ministry right now, we have 39 missionaries among unreached people group. And 2002, through mercy of the Now Ministry, they started helping us. And through them, now we have a wonderful Bible college building. We have been in 12 years. We created 232 Bible students. 99% are in the ministry. And I hope this coming year in June, we will have more than 200 Bible students.
You have heard firsthand how that national missions is the future of world evangelization, that thousands are being saved and hundreds of churches are being planted. But you may wonder, what is my role in this revolutionary outreach? Acts 11, verses 29 and 30 states, "Then the disciples, every man according to his ability, determined to send relief unto the brethren which dwelt in Judea, which also they did, and sent it to the elders by the hands of Barnabas and Saul." This verse expresses how these faithful Christian workers need fellow believers just like you to be financial partners and prayer supporters with them in their ministries. They can go and reach their people for Christ, but only with your financial and spiritual support. Your help is desperately needed to continue this productive work. Here are 3 ways in which you can assist these tremendous servants of God. You can sponsor one or more of these unreached countries. By sponsoring one of these nations, you will be providing national Christian workers with the financial support they need to effectively reach their ethnic group for Christ. Secondly, you can choose to support Evangelist Marshall and his wife Robin. The Marshalls have dedicated their lives to directing this distinctive ministry, providing training, encouragement, accountability, and assistance to these native missionaries. Lastly, you may decide to financially assist the Now Ministries office. These funds are used to provide various assistance and accountability services for the nationals, that without which they would not be able to conduct their ministries. Whether you choose to partner with Now Ministries in several or just one of these ways, every dollar given will be wisely used to spread the gospel and establish churches. These funds make a tremendous impact in the lives and ministries of the nationals. After receiving support, one pastor wrote and shared, quote, "I would spend 16 hours a day, 6 days a week in the fields, working to make just enough money to feed my family. I would try to minister on Sunday and disciple my people, but there were not enough hours in the day. I was tired, discouraged, and ready to quit. But then your support came, and now I no longer have to work in man's fields, but I can work in God's fields. Now I spend 16 hours a day in the ministry, counseling, discipling, and growing the work. I know my family will have food to eat, and I can do the work of God without the tremendous heartache of hearing my children cry out in hunger. Thank you for caring about my family and ministry. I am continuing strong for God." End quote. This testimony is repeated countless times all over the world due to the support from mission-minded Christians just like you. Native missions is the fastest and most effective way to get the gospel to the multitude millions still waiting. But these nationals cannot continue without your assistance. Will you please partner with us so that these nations can hear of Christ before it is too late?